I rode along the frozen river, boots crunching on the ice. Cold bit my fingers and nose. Wind cut through my coat. I saw a small figure ahead. Something moved weakly. I stopped. "Hey!" I shouted. "Are you alive?" She looked up. Her eyes were wide and frozen. Her lips were blue. She shook her head. I felt my stomach tighten. "Don't move too much," I said. "You'll freeze faster." I knelt beside her. She was small, smaller than most children. Her clothes were torn, wet, and covered with snow. "Who did this to you?" I asked. She did not answer. She only shivered. I pulled my coat off, wrapped it around her. "Here, take this. Warm up." She tried to speak. Only a small croak came out. I helped her sit. "Can you walk?" I asked. She shook her head again. "All right," I said. "I will carry you. Hold on." I lifted her carefully. Her body felt cold and fragile. My arms ached immediately. I never had carried anything so light, and yet so heavy at the same time. "You're safe now," I whispered. "I'll take care of you." The cabin was a mile away. Snow deepened with every step. My boots sank with each movement. Her small hands clutched my coat. "Are you hungry?" I asked. She nodded slightly. "We will eat soon. Keep holding on," I said. My voice was low but firm. I wanted to sound strong for her. I remembered the last winter. Alone. Cold nights. I hated the loneliness. Now someone depended on me. Someone alive. Someone I could not let die. "You have a name?" I asked. She shook her head again. I frowned. "I will call you Lily." She did not reply. She only stared at me with wide eyes. The cabin came into view. Smoke from the chimney was faint but visible. I hurried. My legs burned. My lungs ached. But I did not stop. She needed me. Inside the cabin, I set her down carefully by the fire. Flames licked the metal stove. Heat filled the room slowly. I pulled blankets from the bed, wrapped her again. "Sit here," I said. "Warm yourself." Her small hands touched the fire cautiously. She pulled back quickly. I laughed softly. Slowly. "It's hot. You'll burn." She nodded, eyes wide. I gave her a small piece of bread I had saved. She ate slowly. I watched every bite. "You are brave," I said. "Very brave." She only looked down. I did not force words. Some things needed time. I checked her clothes. Torn, soaked, frozen. I took off my spare coat, covered her fully. "Better?" I asked. She nodded faintly. "Don't worry. You will be safe here," I whispered. She moved closer to the fire, her small shoulders shivering. I sat nearby, keeping my hands ready. I would not leave her. Not for a second. "I should ask," I said slowly. "Who left you out there?" She did not answer. Only tears fell quietly onto her cheeks. I cursed the people who abandoned her. How could they leave a child to die? "You are safe now," I repeated. "I won't let anyone hurt you." She looked at me for the first time. I saw fear, yes, but also the tiniest spark of trust. It made my chest ache in a strange way. The snowstorm outside howled. The mountains were harsh and unforgiving. I knew survival was not just about me anymore. I had to protect her, feed her, keep her alive. I carried water from the stream nearby, melted ice for her to drink. She sipped carefully, then fell asleep by the fire. I watched her sleep, tiny chest rising and falling. I thought of my own life alone in the mountains. I had survived winters, wolves, and hunger. But this was different. Now someone depended on me. Someone innocent. Someone I could not fail. I pulled the blanket tighter around her. My mind spun with questions. Who would do this to a child? Who would leave her to die? I did not know, and I did not care. Tonight, she survived. Tomorrow we would see. I sat by the fire, silent, watching the flames. My hands itched to move, to build, to protect. I had found her in the snow. She was fragile, scared, and alone. But not anymore. I would not let the mountains take her. I would not let anyone take her. I would survive, and I would make sure she survived too. The fire crackled in the cabin. Its warmth was soft, but not enough to chase all the cold. I sat beside her, careful not to scare her. She hugged her knees and shivered. "You are warm," she said softly, almost whispering. "Yes," I said. "You need to stay warm tonight." Her eyes met mine for a brief second, then dropped. I knew she was afraid. I thought I would die," she said. "You are safe now," I said. "I will not let anything happen to you." She nodded slowly. "My family, they left me." I felt anger rise in me. "Left you? Why?" She shrugged. "They said I was weak. I slowed them down." Her lips trembled. I cried, but they did not care. I clenched my fists. How could they do that? A child. "They said survival," she whispered. I could not keep up. I was small. I stared at the fire. Survival is one thing, leaving a child is something else. She looked at me, and I saw tears welling in her eyes. I was so cold, so alone. I thought no one would ever help me. "You are not alone now," I said. "I found you. That means something." Her hand brushed mine accidentally. I did not pull away. I wanted her to know she could trust me. "I am scared," she said. "Scared of the snow, the wolves, the dark." "I know," I said. "I am scared too. But I have survived. And I will help you survive." She looked down at the floor. Do you ever feel lonely?" I chuckled quietly, though it sounded hollow. "Every day. The mountains are silent. Only the wind talks back." She smiled faintly. "I like the wind." "I like it too," I said. "But not when it howls at night. It reminds me of being alone." She pressed closer to the blanket. "I never knew anyone cared." "You have me now," I said. "I care more than I can say." She paused, then asked, "Will you teach me to survive?" "Yes," I said. "I will teach you everything. Fire, food, water, how to stay alive." She nodded. "I want to learn." I lifted a small piece of bread and offered it. "Eat. You need strength." She took it slowly. "Thank you," she whispered. "You need more than food," I said. "You need courage too." "Courage?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "Courage to face cold, hunger, and people who might hurt you." She looked thoughtful. "I think I have some courage already." "You do," I said. "But courage grows with practice. We will grow together." She studied the fire. "Do you ever regret living alone?" I shook my head. "I did. Many times. But finding you, it changed everything." Her eyes widened. "Me?" "Yes," I said. "You remind me why life matters. Not just surviving, but living. Feeling, caring, protecting." She smiled faintly. "I never thought anyone would protect me." "I will," I said firmly. "Every day, every night." We stayed quiet for a while. The fire crackled, shadows dancing on the walls. I watched her and remembered the nights I spent alone in these mountains. I felt my chest tighten. I had lived only for myself before, but now, someone depended on me. "You can trust me," I said finally. "I will not fail you." She whispered, "I think I trust you." "That is all I need," I said. I checked our small stock of food. Enough for a few more days. I arranged blankets near the fire. She curled under them, finally quiet. I kept watch. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. The wind howled outside, rattling the cabin. I felt the fear return for a moment. But she slept safely, warm and alive. I realized protecting her would require more than fire and food. It would need courage, trust, and patience. And I had both. I leaned back against the wall and whispered to myself, "We will survive. Together." And I believed it. I went out early, carrying my axe in a bag. Snow crunched under my boots. The cold air burned my lungs. I needed wood for the fire. The girl stayed behind, wrapped in blankets. "You be careful," she called. "I can help." "No," I said. "You stay warm. I will go alone." She shivered but nodded. I saw fear in her eyes, and I felt responsible. My heart tightened. She depended on me now. I could not fail. I walked deeper into the trees, looking for a fallen tree to chop. Then I noticed something strange. A rock formation, almost like a wall, half covered in snow. I crouched, brushing snow aside. A dark hole appeared. "What is that?" I whispered to myself. I crouched closer. Old markings were carved on the stone, symbols I had never seen. I touched them, cold and rough. The opening led into the mountain. A tunnel. My chest tightened. I thought of the girl. I can't bring her in there. Not yet, I said quietly. I pulled out my flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness. The tunnel stretched farther than I expected. I stepped inside carefully, the snow melting under my boots. My heart beat fast. Every sound echoed in the stone. Then I saw it. A pile of money, stacked and covered in dust. Bills yellowed with age, leather straps broken. My jaw tightened. I counted quickly. $290 million. Cash. Hidden in this mountain decades ago. My mind raced. Holy hell, I muttered. I stepped closer, feeling both awe and fear. Who would hide this here? I whispered. The tunnel was silent except for my footsteps. I imagined people discovering it. Murder, betrayal, greed. I could see it clearly. Anyone would kill for this money. And now I knew. Protecting her meant protecting this secret too. My responsibility grew heavier. I crouched beside the pile and touched the bills. Smooth, cold, real. I thought about her, small and scared back at the cabin. If word got out, she would be in danger. My stomach tightened. I could not let that happen. I grabbed a few logs from my bag and lit a small lantern. Shadows danced on the walls. I explored carefully, every step measured. The tunnel bent and split, dark corners hiding unknown threats. I felt fear, yes, but also excitement. Adventure ran through my veins. Suddenly, I heard a sound. A rock shifted above me. I froze. Nothing fell. My heart raced. I whispered, "Calm down. It's just the mountain." I explored further and noticed old crates, some broken, some intact. Tools, rope, and empty sacks lay scattered. This was more than money. Someone had lived here, worked here. Hidden treasure, yes, but also history. I knelt beside a crate and ran my fingers over the letters carved into the wood. Names, dates, maybe warnings. I did not understand them, but I felt the weight of time pressing down. The mountain held secrets. Dangerous, precious secrets. I knew I could not tell anyone, not even the girl. Not yet. Greed would kill her, or me. I could not risk it. The mountain demanded silence. "Better go back," I muttered. "Better keep her safe first." I turned and started back to the opening. Snow had started falling outside. Cold hit me immediately. My mind was heavy with thoughts of money, danger, and the girl. Protecting her now meant protecting more than life itself. The sunlight cut through the forest as I left the tunnel. I took a deep breath. The cold air stung my lungs, but it cleared my head. I carried firewood in my arms, but my mind carried more than logs. Secrets. Danger. A mountain hiding $290 million. I imagined the girl's face, trusting me completely. Her small hands, fragile body. I swallowed hard. She depended on me. I could not fail. I walked back, snow crunching under my boots. "Everything I do now," I said quietly, "is for her. Not the money, not the treasure, only her." The forest was silent except for the wind. Shadows shifted. My mind raced. Who hid the money? Who would come looking for it? And what would happen if they found us first? I remembered the fire at the cabin. She would be cold, scared, waiting. I must return to her before night. Protect her. Feed her. Keep her warm. But the secret weighed on me. I paused on a hill and looked back at the tunnel. Dark and silent. A hidden treasure, untouched for decades. Dangerous. Deadly. But now mine to guard. And hers to survive. I muttered, "I can't let anyone hurt her. Not for money. Not for anything." Snow fell harder. I tucked the logs under my arm and started running down the slope. My chest burned, legs ached, but I carried more than wood. Responsibility, fear, and determination flowed through me. I knew the mountain held secrets. I knew the money could destroy lives. But I would guard her. I would protect her. My survival and hers were now tied to shadows and stone. The sun dropped behind the mountains, long shadows stretching. I felt both fear and resolve. The secret of the mountain and the little girl's safety both depended on me, and I would not fail. The wind howled outside, shaking the cabin walls. Snow whipped across the windows like tiny knives. I sat by the fire, sharpening my axe, while she tried to eat a small piece of bread. Her hands shook. I knew she was scared. "Are they gone?" she asked, her voice small. "I don't know," I said. "The storm is loud." She shivered under the blanket. I pulled it tighter around her shoulders. "You need to stay close," I said. "I won't let anything happen." A howl echoed from the trees. I froze. Then another. And another. My stomach tightened. Wolves. A pack. Hungry and desperate. I had seen them before, prowling the mountains. I knew their hunger could drive them to attack. "They're coming," I said, standing. "Stay here. Don't move." "I'm scared," she whispered. "I know," I said. "I'm scared too. But we will survive." I grabbed my torch and lit it. Flames flickered, dancing on the walls. I knew fire could scare them, maybe even drive them away. I opened the door slightly. Snow poured in, cold and wet. The howls were closer now. Eyes gleamed in the dark. I saw movement between the trees. "Get back," I shouted. "Go away." A wolf stepped forward, its teeth bared. I swung the torch at it. It snarled and jumped back. More wolves appeared, circling, watching. My heart pounded. I glanced at her. She clutched my coat. I could feel her fear, and it made my own sharper. "We need a trap," I muttered. She looked at me. "A trap?" "Yes," I said, "to keep them from coming too close. You stay inside." She nodded quickly. I grabbed rope, rocks, and sticks. I tied a simple snare outside the cabin door, baited it with scraps of meat. The wolves circled, confused. I kicked Snow toward them. "Go back. Go back," I shouted. A wolf lunged at the door. I swung the torch again. Flames roared, smoke burned my eyes. The girl screamed, but I reassured her. "It's okay. I've got you." The wolves paused, growling low. One yipped. They shifted in the snow, uncertain. I knew I could not fight them all forever. I ran to the cabin window, keeping my eyes on them. "Don't panic," I told her. "Stay behind a fire. Stay low." "Will they hurt us?" she asked, voice trembling. "They might try," I admitted. "But I will protect you. Trust me." She nodded. I saw her hands tighten around the blanket. I felt a surge of anger. How could nature be so cruel? How could humans abandon a child, knowing wolves could come? I clenched my fists. We were alone. Alone against everything. The largest wolf circled closer. Its eyes were bright yellow, teeth shining. I kicked the cabin door, making a loud noise. The wolf leapt back, snarling. I swung the torch one more time. Smoke filled my lungs, but I did not care. I only cared about her safety. "They're leaving," I whispered, though I wasn't sure. They hesitated at the tree line, growling low. I held my torch high. Fire, noise, and my presence kept them away. My heart still thumped. I turned to her. "See, they are scared too." She hugged me, burying her face in my coat. "I thought they would get me," she whispered. "They won't," I said. "Not while I'm here. I promise." We stayed up the rest of the night, checking the traps, keeping the fire alive. Every sound made her jump, and I held her tighter. I whispered stories of summer, of green fields and safe cabins. I told her about the times I survived alone in the mountains. She listened quietly, trusting me completely. By dawn, the wolves were gone. Snow had piled against the cabin walls, soft and quiet. I stepped outside. Tracks led away into the trees. I breathed deeply. Survival had been physical, yes, but more than that, it had been emotional. Keeping her safe meant I had to be alert, calm, and brave. I realized protecting her would require every skill I had, and more than that, it required love. She peeked out the door. "Are they gone?" "Yes," I said. "All gone. You're safe now." She smiled weakly, relief shining in her eyes. I knelt and hugged her. "We survived," I said. "Together." She nodded, trusting me completely. I looked out at the mountains. The wind still howled. The snow still fell. But we were alive, and we would survive. I promised myself that. I promised her. I heard voices first. Sharp, Rough voices carried across the snow. My heart jumped. I looked up the slope. 2 men were coming. I did not recognize them. My hands tightened around my axe. "Hello," one called. "We can help you. Shelter, food, anything you need." I stepped forward. "Who are you? What do you want?" "We're travelers," he said. "We saw smoke. Thought you might be in trouble." I squinted. Their coats were thick, warm. Boots clean. They were not travelers. I could feel it in my bones. "Trouble?" I asked. "I am fine." The second man laughed. "You must be the mountain man people talk about. We heard about your little guest. Very lucky girl." My chest tightened. They knew too much. I put a hand on the girl's shoulder. "She stays with me. Leave now." The first man's eyes narrowed. "We are offering help. You don't need to be so hostile." I shook my head. "I do not trust strangers in my mountains. You go, or I fight." The second man stepped closer. "Come now, we just want to talk. Maybe share supplies. You look tired. Hungry." I noticed the bag slung across his shoulder. Too heavy for food. Too well packed. Money, maybe. My eyes narrowed. "Supplies," I said. "You mean the tunnel?" He froze. "Tunnel? What tunnel?" I pulled the girl behind me. "Don't lie. I know what you want. Leave now." The first man smiled, thin and cruel. "You really think you can keep her and the money safe?" I felt anger rise. "I can. And I will. You leave, or I call you out." The girl clutched my coat. "Please," she whispered. "Don't fight." I bent down. "I will protect you," I said. "Whatever happens, I promise." The men laughed. "Promise," one said. "You are alone, mountain man. Alone in these woods. And you are tired. Hungry. Cold." "I am not alone," I said. "She is with me. And I am ready." The first man reached into his coat. I saw a knife. I took a step forward. "Hands where I can see them," I said. They stopped. The snow crunched beneath our boots. Wind blew, carrying their words like arrows. I could feel the tension in the air. One wrong move could end it all. "You think we will fight?" the second man asked. "You are only one. You cannot protect her." "I can," I said, voice low. "And I will. If you step closer, you will regret it." The first man smiled. "We're just trying to help. Don't be a fool." I did not move my eyes from the knife. My fingers gripped the axe tighter. I could not let them near the girl. She looked up at me, fear in her eyes. I swallowed. My hand shook slightly, but I stood my ground. "Why do you want her?" I asked. "Tell me now." The second man glanced at his friend. We only want what is hidden. Nothing else. We are careful. We can pay you." I laughed bitterly. "You think money can make me leave a child to you?" The first man's jaw tightened. "It is just business." "No business is worth hurting her," I said. "Go back the way you came, or I will call the forest to work against you." The wind picked up, carrying snow in my face. They stepped back, eyeing each other. I did not relax. I knew greed could kill, but also retreat could save them. After what felt like hours, they turned. "You are stubborn," the first man said, "but we will leave for now." I watched until they disappeared into the white. My chest ached. "Safe?" I asked the girl. She nodded. "For now." I pulled her close. "We have to be careful. Always. Never trust anyone with this secret." She held my hand tightly. "I will stay with you. And I will protect you," I said. "No matter what." The mountain was quiet again. Snow drifted silently around the cabin. I stared at the trees, knowing they could return. Greed always comes back. But for now, we survived. And we would survive together. I checked the fire, the supplies, and the tunnel entrance. Everything was in place. We had a fragile safety. One wrong move could change everything. I knelt beside her. "Do you understand? You must stay close. Listen, we make no mistakes." "I understand," she whispered. I nodded. My mind raced. Every decision now mattered. Every action could save us or end us. I kept watch through the night, listening for footsteps. The snow fell quietly, covering tracks. But I knew the men were out there, somewhere. waiting, thinking, planning. I tightened my axe. I would not fail her. I would not let greed take her away. The mountains tested us, but I had learned the rules. Survival meant courage, strategy, and trust. And I trusted her. By dawn, the snow was still falling, but the danger had faded for now. We had survived another night. I woke to her soft breathing. The fire was low, orange light dancing across the cabin walls. I stirred the embers with my hand. "Morning," I said quietly. She blinked and sat up. "Morning," she said. Her voice was stronger today. I noticed her hands were no longer shaking as much. I handed her some bread. "Eat," I said. "We need energy." She nodded and bit into it. "I'm hungry," she said. "You were hungry yesterday," I said, "and the day before. You must eat well to stay strong." She chewed slowly. "I want to learn to survive like you." I paused. Her eyes were earnest. "I can teach you, but you must listen." "Yes," she said, nodding quickly. I stood and picked up a small knife. "First, fire. Fire keeps you alive. Do you know how to start one?" She shook her head. "No, I never tried." I knelt beside her. "Watch closely. You need kindling, dry wood, sparks." I struck flint. Sparks flew. Her eyes widened. "You do it," I said. "Try to make a spark." She struck the flint. A tiny ember glowed. Her eyes lit. "I did it," she whispered. "Yes," I said. "That ember can save your life. Never forget it." Later, we gathered water from the stream. I showed her which plants are safe. "Do not eat this," I said. "It will make you sick." She listened carefully. "I will remember," she said. I hesitated. The treasure was on my mind. "There is something I must warn you about," I said slowly. "There's money in the mountain. Not safe money. Greedy people will kill for it." Her eyes grew wide. "Money? Yes, $290 million, I said. "But it is dangerous. Do not tell anyone. Trust me only." She nodded slowly. "I trust you," she said. I felt my chest tighten. Her words meant more than I could say. Trust was new for me. I had been alone for years. Opening my heart scared me. "Now," I said, "we must practice survival. Fire, food, water, and awareness. Listen to me. Follow my instructions." We spent hours practicing. She learned fast. I noticed her confidence growing. She looked at the forest differently. Less fear, more curiosity. "Do you think we will be safe?" she asked. "I hope so," I said. "But the world is not kind. You must be ready." Her small hand brushed mine. "I want to be ready," she whispered. I swallowed hard. Her trust felt heavy and precious. Protecting her was more than physical. It was emotional. My heart depended on hers. I decided to tell her a little about my past. I was alone here before. Lonely. Cold. I learned the mountains, the rivers, the storms. But I had no one to share it with. That changed when I found you. She smiled. "I'm glad you found me." I felt a lump in my throat. I am glad too. But secrets must stay secret. The money, the danger, it cannot leave this mountain. She nodded. "I understand. I will be careful." I watched her as she moved around the cabin, practicing what I had taught. Her steps were cautious but certain. She asked questions about life, about fairness, about right and wrong. I answered honestly. "You have survived alone too long," she said softly. "Do you ever wish for someone to trust?" I looked away. I didn't know I wanted it. I said quietly. "Until now." Her smile warmed me. I realized my emotional survival depended on hers. Every choice, every secret, every lesson was part of keeping us alive, body and heart. The evening came. Snow fell lightly outside. The fire crackled. I handed her another piece of bread. "Eat. Tomorrow we practice more." She nodded. "I want to be strong. I want to survive." "You will," I said. "But you must trust. And you must remember, some secrets are heavier than stones." She looked at me and nodded. I knew she understood. I felt a quiet peace settle over me. Trust had begun. Our bond was growing. We had survived winter, wolves, and greed. But now, we survived something more fragile, our hearts. I watched her sleep that night by the fire. I whispered to myself, we will face everything. Together. The wind howled across the mountain, rattling my cabin windows. I was sharpening my axe when I saw smoke in the distance. Someone was coming. Who is it? She whispered behind me. I don't know, I said. My hand rested on the door. Stay inside. A horse's hooves hit the frozen ground. I stepped outside. 2 men rode up slowly. One dismounted, lifting his hat. Hello there, he said, smiling too wide. We heard a girl was staying here. Thought we should check. I frowned. Who are you? We're family, he said. Her relatives. He gestured to her. We came to make sure she is safe. I looked at her. She pressed close, eyes wide. They came for me, she whispered. I narrowed my eyes. Safe? Or after something else? The man laughed softly. Come now. We only want her to come home. I don't think so, I said, gripping my axe handle. She's not going anywhere. He stepped closer. Listen, there's a treasure here. A lot of money. Don't make this hard. My heart froze. Money, I said. You came for money? He shrugged. We want what is ours. I felt anger burn through me. They left her to starve once. Now they wanted to steal again. You touch her. You leave with nothing but your teeth in your mouth, I said. The girl held my sleeve. Please don't fight, she said softly. I have to, I replied. They can't take you. He laughed again. Strong words for a mountain man. But do you really think you can stop us? I stepped forward. Try me. They glanced at each other, calculating. The snow crunched under my boots as I moved closer. My breath formed clouds in the cold air. I had faced wolves, storms, and hunger. I would face them too. I don't want trouble, the girl whispered. I know, I said, lowering my voice. But I can't let them hurt you. Not again. The man reached for something under his coat. My hand was faster. I swung the axe near his face. He yelped and stumbled back. See, I said. I warned you. He gritted his teeth. You'll regret this. Try me, I repeated. My eyes never left him. I kept my stance strong. The girl pressed against my leg, watching silently. I can take the girl, he said. Or take the money. You can take neither, I said firmly. Leave now. The second man tightened his jaw. You can't hide forever. The treasure will be ours. Try and see, I said, feeling my heart pound. The mountains are mine. You will not survive here. They laughed nervously. Then the first man threw a rock at my cabin wall. I swung my axe again, and it cut through the air near his shoulder. He stepped back, eyes wide with fear. The girl clutched my hand. You were brave, she said quietly. I am not brave, I said. I just won't let them take you. The 2 men exchanged a quick look. Then slowly, they backed toward their horses. I didn't lower my axe until they rode off into the trees. She exhaled. I thought they would take me. They tried, I said, but I will never let them. We went inside. The cabin felt warmer, safer, though the wind still screamed outside. I sat beside her. You saw courage, I said, and that courage is mine because of you. I protect what matters. She leaned against me. I am glad you are here. I trust you. I swallowed. Trust was a fragile thing. Her family betrayed her once. They would never change. But I could change the story. I would keep her safe, always. Night fell. The fire crackled. Snow piled against the door. I thought about the tunnel, the money, and the betrayal. It could cost us our lives if anyone else found it. But she mattered more than gold. She had survived winter, wolves, and cruelty. Now she would survive me. I watched her sleep that night, thinking about the choices I made. Every day on this mountain tested me. But standing firm, defending her, had never felt more right. Betrayal from her family taught me one thing. Survival is not only about food or fire. It is about protecting what you love. I swore silently, gripping the axe beside me. I will not fail you. Not ever. The wind howled again, but inside the cabin we were safe for now. The mountain, the snow, and the hidden tunnel remained ours. Together, We had faced betrayal, and we had won. The wind howled like a wild animal outside. Snow whipped against the cabin walls. I watched her huddle under a blanket, shivering. The fire was small, struggling to burn. "I'm scared," she whispered. "I know," I said. "We have to stay calm." Her eyes were wide. I wanted to hold her, to tell her everything would be fine. But I also knew the storm was relentless. Every minute outside risked frostbite. Every hour inside risked hunger. "I can go get more firewood," I said. "Stay here. Don't move." "No," she cried. "I will come too. I can help." "You will freeze," I said firmly. "I will handle this." She nodded, tears running down her cheeks. I grabbed my coat and boots, then stepped into the blinding snow. The cold cut my face. My hands went numb. I could barely see the trees. Every step was a fight. I knew I had to find fallen branches and dry wood. The cabin depended on it. She depended on it. The snow piled high. I stumbled over logs and rocks. My lungs burned with cold air. I thought about the girl, her small hands, her frightened eyes. I could not fail her. I could not let the storm win. Back at the cabin, she whispered to herself. I could hear her voice faint through the walls. "Please, don't leave me," she said. I ran back with my arms full of wood, slipping and falling once. Pain shot through my shoulder, but I kept going. She saw me enter, her eyes lighting up. "You made it," she exclaimed. "I told you I would," I said. "We survived together." We fed the fire, building it tall. Flames licked the cold air, spreading warmth through the cabin. She shivered less, leaning against the wall. "I was so scared," she said. "I thought we might die out here." "We might have," I said honestly. "But we didn't. Not yet." The wind roared even louder, shaking the cabin. Snow pressed against the windows like fingers. I looked at the girl. "I need to make sure we have food. You stay by the fire." She nodded. "Do you want me to help?" "No. Sit. Rest. Keep warm." I went back into the storm, cutting wood and gathering what little food remained. My hands were raw, my boots wet. I counted every bundle. One wrong step could leave us with nothing. One wrong decision could mean death. "Inside," she whispered again. "I trust you." I paused. Her words warmed me more than the fire. "I won't let you down," I said. By nightfall, we had enough wood for the night, and a few extra rations. I sat beside her. She was quiet now, leaning against me. I could feel her heartbeat. It was steady but slow. I placed my hand over hers. "You are strong," I said softly. "Stronger than this storm." She smiled faintly. "I am scared, but I trust you." "I know," I said. "Trust is all we have. Courage, too." The cabin felt small, but safe. I realized I had risked everything outside. My hands, my body, even my life. Yet the real danger was letting her fear overwhelm her. My sacrifice was worth it. Her trust and life meant more than my own comfort. Night stretched on. The storm did not ease, but we had survived another day. I checked the food and fire constantly. I whispered stories of my past, simple tales, hoping to keep her mind calm. "Do you think it will end?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "Storms always end. So do nights. We just need to survive until then." She nodded, closing her eyes. I watched her sleep. Her small chest rose and fell. I thought about all we had faced: cold, hunger, danger, betrayal. Every choice, every risk had brought us here. I realized then that survival was not just keeping warm or fed. It was sacrifice. I had given up comfort, safety, even my pride, to protect her. And she had given me trust, hope, and purpose. When I finally closed my eyes, I felt a strange peace. The storm still raged outside, but inside, the cabin was alive with warmth, fire, and trust. We had faced it together, and together we would face whatever came next. I held her hand and whispered, "We survive. Always." Her small fingers tightened around mine. In that moment, I understood the truth. Sacrifice was not weakness. Sacrifice was love. Courage was not fighting alone. Courage was keeping someone alive, even when the world raged against you. The storm howled, but we endured, and I knew that tomorrow, no matter how cold or dark, we would face it together. The storm ended. I opened the cabin door and stepped outside. The snow had melted in some places. Sunlight poured over the mountains. I felt warmth on my face for the first time in days. The air smelled clean, fresh, and alive. She came out behind me, holding my hand. "Look," she said softly. "The snow is gone." I smiled, squeezing her small hand. "Yes, spring is coming." She laughed, and it was the first sound that felt like life. "I thought winter would never end." "I know," I said. "I thought it would last forever, too." She looked at me. Her eyes were strong now, not afraid. "I am not scared anymore," she whispered. "You should not be," I said. "We survived the worst. Together." We walked down the small hill. Mud squished under our boots. The mountains glowed with the sunrise. Birds sang in the trees. I could see flowers starting to bloom. Life was returning. "Do you think anyone will come for the money?" she asked quietly. I shook my head. "No, it is safer here. We do not need it. We only need each other." She smiled, small and shy. "You saved me," she said. "No," I replied. "You saved me too. I was alone, cold and empty. You gave me purpose." She leaned closer, holding my arm. "I feel strong now. Because of you." I looked down at her. "You are strong. You survived winter, hunger, and fear. I only helped you see it." We reached the cabin again. Smoke curled from the chimney. The fire inside warmed our hands and hearts. I opened the door, letting her go first. "Home," she whispered. I nodded. "Home," I said, feeling a strange peace. The cabin felt alive now, filled with warmth and trust. We placed her small bag by the bed. She unpacked slowly. Every item seemed precious to her. I watched silently. She had grown so much in weeks. She was no longer the frightened child I found in the snow. "Do you think we can live like this?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "We can survive. We can be happy. We can make life here together." She nodded and smiled. "I am glad I found you." "I am glad I found you too," I said, my voice soft. I wanted her to know I meant it with all my heart. The cabin felt quiet but alive. The mountains were calm. The hidden tunnel and the money remained untouched. They meant nothing compared to life, trust, and survival. I realized that now. I chopped some wood for the stove while she tidied the cabin. She laughed when a small log rolled across the floor. I felt my chest tighten. Simple moments like this made me feel alive again. Night fell. The stars appeared above the mountains. I sat beside her and watched her sleep. Her chest rose and fell. I thought of all the storms we faced, the hunger, the betrayal, and the fear. Every step had led to this moment. In the morning, she woke and stretched her arms. "Morning," she said softly. "Morning," I replied. I felt hope rise inside me. The sun shone bright, the mountains glimmered, and life felt new. We walked outside together. The ground was wet, soft with melting snow. Birds chirped loudly, and small animals moved in the distance. I held her hand tightly. She held mine. "Together," she whispered. "Always," I said. I knew that our bond was unbroken. The world could be cruel, but we had each other. That was enough. We looked at the mountains, the forests, and the small streams. Every danger we faced, every storm, every betrayal had taught us something. Courage, patience, trust, love. I breathed deeply, feeling the mountain air in my lungs. I realized that life had changed us both. I had saved her body, but she had saved my heart. We stepped forward, hands clasped, hearts full. The sun climbed higher. The mountains shone. Life awaited us. We were free, alive, together. Some winters end with snow. Ours ended with life.